Hi, we're here with Gray Malin of Gray Malin Enterprises and a fellow Emerson alum. Hi, thanks for coming. Tell me a little bit about Gray Malin Enterprises.
So the business is a fine art photography company, and I produce photo shoots sort of all over the world, and then create limited edition prints that are meant to hang in the home as artwork.
And how did the business start? Because I know actually, let's go back to the beginning. So you came out to LA, but you didn't come out to start in this art world. You came out to you worked at a studio, right?
Yes, so I studied, I excelled in photography when I was in high school, and I studied marketing at Emerson and also photography. I came out to LA to take a class to do the Emerson program and to intern. An internship that I had in Boston at Paramount and Warner Brothers led to a job here
At Paramount.
at Paramount
Okay.
Vantage,
Okay.
which was their independent label, and they were doing these like There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men with like the Coen brothers. Yeah, like artistic, like Daniel Day-Lewis, these people who are the real deal. And so watching that and like being exposed, you feel passionate. So it just really fueled my fire to want to look at what I felt, I derailed from, which was photography, thanks to a couple of wonderful internships.
Okay, so you left Paramount, and then you decided to start doing photography again, or did you have another job in between?
So I immediately, as soon as I left Paramount on a Friday, I started an internship with a well-known photographer named David LaChapelle on Monday. And I spent 2 weeks in his studio. He has shot like every celebrity and it was like wild.
Yeah, that's no small internship.
It was no small internship.
So from the time the first place that your art actually, where you were selling art here in LA was at a Fairfax flea market, right? At
Yes.
the Trading Post?
The Melrose Fairfax
Right.
flea market on Sundays.
So how long was it from the time that you left Paramount and started your internship with David to actually getting your art out there at the Trading Post?
It was about 3 months.
Okay, so that's not too bad. That's pretty quick.
It was. So after those internships ended, I had no financial backing other than what I had saved up during the year and a half at Paramount, and some money that like I had saved up from when I was younger. I'm like totally a saver.
That's awesome.
Now it's a little different, but I'm a saver. And like with that money, I was able to buy a printer, an Epson like fine art printer, and a new computer and a camera. And those were the 3 tools that I needed. I started looking at like work I had shot in high school and when I had studied abroad through the Emerson program, and I had these like incredible black and white images shot on film from Europe, and I just started to compile them and print them, and then I figured out how to map them, and then the next thing I knew I was, at the market talking to somebody, showing them, being like, can I have a booth? And they were like, definitely, you start January 2nd, Sunday, January 2nd, like, be here at 6:30 in the morning, and like, you need to either rent a tent or bring your own. So then I had to figure out how to like, set up some netting system, so like I could like, that could hold the matted prints.
Right.
It was all hysterical, really. It was like me at Lowe's. But I mean, it wasn't too hard.
Were you alone when you were doing this, or did you have somebody that was actually helping you through the process?
I had Jeff,
Okay.
who I wouldn't have been able to do this alone.
Jeff is your now husband.
My husband, yeah. And Jeff and I have been together since college. I mean, he's a little bit older, but I was in college when I met him, and we moved out here, sort of, from Boston. So that experience was so important. Like, it was the game changer for me because, yeah, it's a flea market, but it's West Hollywood in Los Angeles. People walking through that market are powerful. You just don't even know.
So from the Trading Post, what was kind of the next move into starting to really grow the business?
One random Sunday, a girl stopped in the booth and she just was like, I love your work, and I think that we could sell this on this website that I work for, and yada yada. Meanwhile, I had just returned from a trip to Marfa, Texas. I had taken a photograph of this like bizarre but incredibly interesting Prada art installation shop.
One that stands alone, right? In
Yes.
like the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
In Texas.
And it's not like a real shop. It's just a piece of art that these two artists teamed up with, and Prada lent its name. And this body of work spoke to this girl at the flea market. And I only had like 2 images from it at the time. And so I did an event with this company online, and I sold like 60 or 70 prints in like 48 hours or something online. And I was like, whoa, the internet. And they were like being shipped out all over the country. And I was like, wow, like how cool. That's amazing. I need to think about this one. So I was sitting like at home one day with Jeff, and someone invited him to join this company called One Kings Lane, which had just recently launched. And she wrote, I think Gray would really like this website. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. I loved everything about it. But I made it my mission to get a meeting with them. And I cold emailed the company, and sure enough, I got a response from the co-founder. And I found out they were having a little event, and I like went and introduced myself to her. And that started my whole business, going from a flea market in this just West Hollywood to like a national way to reach new audiences.
Right.
And then One Kings Lane blew up, and they became like the #1 home
They're
website.
huge.
They're huge. And rightfully so. I mean, it's an incredible brand, and it has encouraged me to like continue to make new work. And I always think about that Prada Marfa shop. Like, I looked at it and I literally thought, what is it about this image that people want to hang this in their home? And every series I shoot, I think about that. Like, what is this something people would, want in their living room, in their bedroom?